Good evening, PVET for parents. Welcome to PVET Live, your guide to animal health. I am your host for this evening, Harmony Adiao, and tonight is all about preventing animal transmitted diseases. Preventing animal transmitted diseases. As we all know, as fur parents, I am a fur parent myself. No, it is really our responsibility to make sure that our pets no, are in the best of health. So stay tuned. Invite your co-fur parents na wala pa dito right now. Let's watch tonight's live and let's all learn together. And so I'm not sure if you guys are aware, no, but now you are aware. Kasi March is actually Rabies Awareness Month, and our topic for tonight will cover the most common diseases that we can get from our fur babies. With that, you can see on your screens our official hashtags, PVET Zoonotic. And you might be wondering what that means. Ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ng zoonotic? Well, in a few minutes, I'll be introducing our guest speaker who will be explaining what zoonotic really is, and he will also be sharing his knowledge on how we can prevent animal transmitted diseases. So just a few reminders before we start, not to everyone enjoying our live broadcast this evening. Did you know that prior to this evening, we actually ran a fake or fact contest? So we posted 3 questions, ayan, the ones that you can see on your screen, and we asked you whether you think these questions are fake or fact, true or false. So tonight, we will be announcing the 6 lucky winners who gave the right answer and were chosen through an e-draw. So just to be clear, no, i-draw talaga yung ginamit natin para ma-pick yung mga winners kasi ang daming nakapagbigay ng tamang sagot. So we had to just draw the lucky winners para fair, syempre, di ba? So these lucky winners will receive a gift pack from PVET and our sponsors. So stay tuned until the end for that. Sa mga nanonood ngayon na hindi naman nakasali sa ating pre-event contest, well, don't worry kasi may chance pa kayong manalo ng PVET gift packs. All you have to do is post your questions in the comments section, and don't forget to include our official hashtags. You can see it on your screen right now. Hashtag PVET Live and hashtag PVET Zoonotic. So those who give in their chosen questions will win something from PVET. So I want you guys to look forward to that. Dahil napaka-exciting ng ating learnings tonight. So make sure that you have your pen and paper, or kung magaling kayo memorize, go. If you have questions for this episode, don't forget to comment them. So ayoko nang patagalin pa. I know you guys are very excited to learn tonight. So let me have the honor and the privilege of introducing to you our guest speaker. So he's a veterinarian and he's the medical director at Consultavet Animal Hospital. So he actively shares his care tips for pet owners through Manila Bulletin and Radyo Agila. So if you guys frequent these publications, no? If you frequent Manila Bulletin and if you frequent the city Radyo Agila, then you may have heard his voice or you may have read his columns. He is also a host of the online show Doctor's Online Show under 702 DZAS FEBC Radio and Consultavet under Edge TV Philippines. Without further ado, I would like to welcome the one, the only, Dr. Jomar Castro.
Good evening to everybody, and I want to welcome everybody to the PVET Live, and I'm happy to be here. My name is Dr. Jomar Castro. Ako po ay isang veterinaryo. Presently, I have a clinic, I have a practice in Quezon City. The name of my practice is Consult a Vet. I'm the medical director of the Consult a Vet group of clinics, and I'm so glad to be here to share some information to you guys here at PVET Live. So thank you very much, guys. Good evening to everybody. So I want to thank you for that wonderful introduction by Miss Harmony. Thank you. And before I start off with my presentation, maraming salamat po again sa inyo pong pag-imbita sa akin dito sa PVET Live. Okay, sana po ay maintindihan ninyo lahat ng aking sasabihin at pipilitin ko po na maintindihan ninyo ng lubusan ang topic natin for today, which is entitled Preventing Animal Diseases, Animal Transmitted Diseases. Okay? Iniiwasan po natin ang ilang mga sakit na naipapasa po galing sa mga alaga nating pets. Okay? Again, this is Dr. Jomar Castro here at PVET Live. Okay? Magsisimulan ko na po ang aking presentation with my first slide. Okay? Ano po ba ang tinatawag na zoonotic disease or zoonosis? Okay? Ayoko po mag-nosebleed kayo pagdating sa ganitong mga termino, medical na termino, pero ang madali lang po itong intindihin. Pag nakabasa kayo ng zoonotic disease, ang ibig sabihin po niyan ay isa po siyang infection or sakit na naipapasa galing sa hayop papunta po sa tao. Okay? Ito po yung mga sakit na nakukuha natin sa mga alaga natin. Kung akala natin ay wala, napakadami po. Okay? Bibilangin ko po sa inyo, magbibigay ako ng ilang mga halimbawa. Actually, 10 yata itong nandito. Ayan, ito po yung mga common na sakit na pwede nating makuha sa ating mga alaga. Ano-ano po ba yung mga sakit na yan? Meron pong bacteria, meron pong virus, meron pong parasite, meron pong fungus, merong protozoa, at meron din pong bulate. Yan ha. Napakadami pong nating dapat syempreng iwasan. Syempre, ang kailangan natin dito, yung pag-iingat Pero kailangan malaman nyo po muna, ano po itong 10 sakit na to na dapat nyong iwasan at ano ang gagawin sa inyong mga alaga para hindi nyo makuha to. Okay, number 1, yung leptospirosis. Ano po ba yung leptospirosis? Isa po siyang bakterya na nanggagaling sa daga. Okay? Nanggagaling po yan sa wiwi ng daga. Okay? Bakit po siya na kumakalat? Dahil dito po sa ating bansa ay laging bahain. Okay? Laging may flood. Pag mataas po ang tubig, yung wiwi po ng daga ay nagkakalat at ito po ay pumapasok sa katawan natin galing sa mga daga. So, kailangan iwasan nyo yun, okay? Mamaya po, sa ating question and answer portion, pag meron kayong mga tanong, you just have to send it here in our chat box, okay? So, number 1, leptospirosis. Pangalawa pong fatal na sakit ay susunod po ay virus. Alam nyo na po itong lahat, rabies. Okay, saan nyo po nakukuha to? Galing po sa lahat ng klaseng mamal, aso man o pusa na nangangagat at kung infected sila nito, maipapasa po yan sa atin. Rabies. Alam nyo po ang nakakamatay po yan, kaya dapat nyong iwasan. Okay? Pangatlo, ano po ba yung scabies? Okay? Isa po siyang galis na nakukuha rin sa aso, pusa at marami pang hayop. Okay? Napakakati po niyan. At ngunit nagagamot din naman. Okay? Ganon din po yung ringworm at yung cryptosporidium. Okay? Yung scabies po, galis aso ang kadalasan tawag dyan. Yung ringworm naman at saka cryptosporidium ay mga fungus. Okay? Sakit sa balat din po ang nagagawa niyan sa atin, pangangati at severe itchiness ang nangyayari po dyan. Okay? Lumalaki po yan, kaya kailangan malaman nyo kung meron yung aso nyo yan kasi mahahawa din po kayo. Ito naman pong susunod na 5, yung Giardia at yung Salmonella ay mga bakterya din po yan. Okay? Ang Giardia naman po maihahambing sa amoeba. Ang tao po ay nagkaka-amoeba, ang aso naman madalas nagkaka-Giardia. Okay? Kaparehas po ito ng parang amoeba. Kung kaya't ang nagiging cause nito ay ang problema sa tiyan. Okay? Ang diarrhea. So yan din po ang nagkukos sa salmonella. Okay? Yan din po ang epekto ng salmonella. Pag pumasok po yan sa katawan natin, wala po tayong gagawin kundi magdadiarrhea most of the time. Ngayon po, yung mga bulate naman ng aso at pusa natin, napapasa rin yan sa atin. Yung hookworm at roundworm. Kaya kailangan, purgahin nyo din sila. Okay? So dahil naipapasa at pumapasok yan sa katawan natin. Ngayon, yung tinatawag po nating tick-borne parasite, ang yan po ay galing sa garapata. Okay? Madalas po ito kasing problema sa ibang bansa katulad ng Lyme at saka Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever. Yan po yung mga sakit na makikita sa ibang bansa. Ngunit dito po walang ganito pong sakit. Ngunit marami rin pong dalang sakit kasi ang garapata. Kung kaya't dapat din siyang iwasan para hindi tayo magkasakit. Ito pong 10 ang napaka-importanting sakit na dapat yung tandaan para naman maiwasan nyo yung pagkakahawa sa inyong mga alaga. Okay? Now, dadako po tayo sa number 1 na sakit dito po sa Pilipinas, ang rabies. Okay? Ito po ay nakukuha, syempre, sa lahat ng mammals na nangangagat. Okay? Ano po ang ginagawa ng virus? Pag pumasok po siya sa balat ninyo, pupunta siya sa bloodstream, at ang titirahin niya ay ang inyong nervous system. Yung inyo pong spinal cord hanggang sa makaakyat siya sa brain. Okay? Napakarami po at nakamamatay itong sakit na to kung kaya't iniingatan natin. This is why we've included this topic is very important po sa ating mga Pilipino. Okay? Ang nangyayari po, pag infected po ang aso o ang pusa at siya po ay naging rabid at nakagat kayo o na-scratch kayo, nakalmot lang or meron kayong sugat na nadilaan niya, merong saliva, laway po na napunta sa inyong sugat, may infect na po kayo nito. Delikado po ito, kung kaya dapat niyong ingatan. Okay, ano po nangyayari sa inyo? Ayan, magkakalagnat, sasakit ang ulo, magkakaroon kayong, nalilito kayo lagi, tapos nagwawala na, hyperactivity. Nahihirapan na ngayon lumunok at naglalaway. Ayan na. Ngayon, natatakot po sa tubig. Okay? At naghahalucinate. Kasunod na po dito, pag medyo yung infection ay nag-advance na, napaparalyze, hindi na makatayo, hindi na makalakad, at namamatay. Parehas po yan sa aso at sa pusa. Kung kaya dapat nyo po ingatan. Alright? Next is yung paano ba siya nakaka-infection sa atin. So, syempre, galing siya sa laway ng infected animal, papasok siya sa sugat na meron kayo sa balat. Yan po, dyan dumadaan. Okay? Pag napunta po yan sa dugo, pupunta sa spinal cord, sa nerves, at aakyat sa brain. Pag nakaakyat na po sa brain, wala na. The end na po. The end na. Okay? Paano po namin inaalam kung meron ang aso o ang tao ng sakit na rabies? Meron po mga lab test na ginagawa. Ayoko pong masyado maging technical para sa inyo. Ang tawag po doon, direct fluorescence antibody test. Okay? Kukuha po kami ng tissue sa brain at kinokondak po sa laboratorio ang test na ito. Okay? Pag nag-positive, ayan na po. Sa aso po yun. Sa tao naman, pwede rin pong gawin yon. Kaya lang, mas mainam na ngayon through the modern technology, katulad ng ginagawa po sa COVID, ina-isolate po siya ng PCR. Okay? Polymerase chain reaction test. Okay? Yan po ang ginagawa naming mga doktor para ma-identify kung merong rabies ang inyong alaga. Okay? Napakataas po ng mortality nito. Ayoko takutin, pero totoo po ito. 99.9% when you get infected, you die. Yun po. Death sentence po ito. Kaya kailangan, pag kinagat kayo, takbo kagad sa doktor. Hindi na magpapatumpik-tumpik. Okay? Okay? Dahil wala po itong gamot. Okay? Yung lahat po ng gamot na tinuturok na nababalitaan nyo noon, lahat po yun preventive. Okay? Para maiwasan ang sakit na rabies, ang kaya lang po natin gawin ay bakuna. Parang COVID. Di ba? Wala pong ibang gamot kung hindi sana maiwasan. Okay? Kapag ka tinamaan, wala na po. Sabi nga kanina, 99.9%, halos 100% na po. Kakaunti lang po ang nabubuhay sa kapag kayo ay na-infect. May tinatawag pong post-exposure and pre-exposure rabies vaccines kapag hindi pa po severe yung infection sa tao. Okay? Pero sa aso po, bakuna lang ang preventive measure. Okay? Now, tayo po ay dadako sa leptospirosis, isang sakit. Bacteria po siya, hindi siya virus. Ito po yung kinekwento ko kanina na nanggagaling sa mga daga. Okay? At laganap sa mga baha. Okay? Kaya kayo, huwag kayong lusong ng baha kapag kayo ay may sugat sa paa. Dahil napakataas po ng chance na kayo ay ma-infect nito. Okay? Ano po nangyayari sa inyo? Lalagnatin, manghihina, mawawalan ng gana, at kapag hindi nyo ito pinagamot, pero gusto ko po sabihin sa inyo, napakadaling gamutin ito kapag maagang-maaga, pero kapag hindi nyo pinansin, kasi kadalasan, Deadma lang eh. No? So, ito po, nakakamatay siya. Dahil sisirain niya po yung kidney, liver, brain, lungs, and heart. Okay? Kapag pinabayaan ninyo. Pero pag nakita nyo na mas maaga, para maiwasan, maggamot na kagad. Okay? Saan po siya dumadaan? Paano siya nakaka-infect? Papasok siya sa katawan, sa mucous membrane. Yun po yung tinatawag nating mata at bibig. Okay? At yung mga sugat na meron kayo, kaya nga sinabi ko kanina, pagka kayo ay may sugat sa paa at lumusong kayo sa baha, matakot po kayo dahil siyempre, diyan po sila papasok. Okay? Napakabilis po nilang dumami at pag nakapasok sa bloodstream, sa dugo, pupunta po sa iba't ibang organs na minention ko kanina, ayan na po, idadamage na nila yan at kapag pinabayaan, nakakamatay din po. Alright? Ano po ang ginagawa naming mga doktor para malaman namin? Meron pong mga lab test katulad ng ELISA test kit at saka yung PCR tests, microagglutination test, mga test po yan na familiar kayo, katulad po ginagamit din yan sa COVID. Okay, may specific po para sa lepto, gagawin po namin yan sa laboratorio. Mababa naman po yung mortality rate kapag hindi nyo, pag pinabayaan nyo lang, saka yan tumataas, pero pag 20% lang po, na-mention ko dito, dahil madali na po siyang gamutin ngayon. Basta ma-identify na maaga, mag-antibiotics po, magfu-fluid therapy, at supportive care. Marami pong nagre-respond na pasyente pagdating dyan, lalo na sa mga aso, pero wag nyo pong palalain ang sitwasyon kung pababayaan nyo lang. Okay? Ano na naman po ang kailangan para ma-prevent? Siyempre, bakuna pa rin po. At yung pinaka-importante, bukod sa bakuna, ay umalis sa mga bahaing lugar. Pagka may baha, may lepto. Yan po ang nangyayari. Okay? Dahil nakokontaminate po ng wiwi ng daga yung ating mga tubig baha. Okay?
Alright. O, di ba, ang dami na natin agad na natutunan from Doc Jomar. And as a fur parent, nakaka-relate talaga tayo dyan sa mga kagat-kagat na yan. I'm sure a lot of us have already been bitten or scratched a little bit, kaya this information is so valuable to all of us. So, okay, we know now the real definition of zoonotic diseases or zoonoses. Ito pala yung mga disease o sakit na pwede nating makuha sa mga fur babies natin. We know rabies and leptospirosis now. So, Doc Jomar, tuloy natin. Ano nga ba yung last na common zoonotic disease that we have to know about? At ano ba yung mga tips para sa ating mga fur parents to know para healthy tayo at healthy din ang ating mga fur babies?
Dadako po tayo sa flea bite dermatitis. Ano po ba yung flea bite dermatitis? Actually, sa madalit salita po, gusto ko lang sabihin sa inyo, pulgas lang po ito eh, pulgas. Hindi po ito ang tinatawag na garapata ha. Pulgas. Okay? Makikita nyo po yan, pagkamot ng kamot ang inyong aso nang walang humpay at kinakagat-kagat niya na yung balat niya hanggang sa masugat. Nagkaka-allergy siya. Kaya po tinawag na dermatitis, pamamaga ng balat. Okay? Sanhi po yan ng pulgas, yung flea. Alright? Now, ano bang cause po nun? Bakit ba siya napakakati? Di ba? Bakit ang kati-kati naman, Dok? Kasi, pag kinagat po kayo ng pulgas, meron siyang ini-inject na chemical sa inyong balat. Histamine yun. Napakakati. Nai-irritate. Ano nyo mo, pag nakikita nyo yung aso, parang nasisira yung ulo niya, gusto niyang kagatin yung balat niya, kung saan parte ng balat, kamot ng kamot, hanggang sa masira na yung balat at masugat. Okay? Dahil nga po doon sa ini-inject nung flea na yon. Okay? Idadagdag ko rin po, no? Yung mga flea na yan ay may dala pang isang sakit. May dala yung bulate. Na kapag kumagat yan at nakain, dahil nga marami siyang fleas, nakain ngayon niya yung flea, magkakabulate na rin po siya. Kasi carrier siya ng tapeworm. O yan ha, yan po, natutunan nyo ngayon dito po sa PVET Live na napakataas ng incidence ng tapeworm infection dahil po sa pulgas. O yan ha, hindi ko po na-include dito sa aking presentation. Ano po nangyayari? Ayan. Kamot ng kamot, walang humpay, nakakaawa. Okay? Dahil sa kamot ng kamot, nakakalbo. at nagkakasugat na ng wagas. Okay? Nakakaawa. Ako man po ay nakagat na rin ng pulgas. Napakakati. Hindi nyo malaman, hindi mo makita kasi ang pulgas by the naked eye. Kaya meron tayong tuturo sa inyo po ngayong hapon na to, ay ngayong gabi na to. Ituturo namin sa iyo kung paano nyo malalaman. Okay? May tinatawag po kaming fine tooth comb. Okay? Napakasosyal. Ano po? Ano po ang ibig sabihin nun? Dahil po may pulgas, ang kailangan nyo lang gamitin, hindi po masyadong sosyal na to. Ito po yung tinatawag na suyod. Okay? Suyod lang yung ginagamit po sa bata. Ganun po ang gagamitin. Para malaman at kakapit dun yung pulgas, makikita nyo, meron pala siyang mga pulgas. Hindi ko makita. Bakit ba siya kamot ng kamot? May iba pa pong test na kaming ginagawa dahil nagkaka-allergy niya, intradermal skin test. Para ma-differentiate po kung talagang pulgas ba yon sa garapata o galis. Okay? Ano po ang gamot dito? Treatment. Okay? Ang treatment dito, syempre, napakadali, napaka-modern na po ngayon, napakadami ng oral flea medications. Pinapainom lang po, pinapatak sa batok, napakadami pong brand. Okay? Para maiwasan yan. Ano po ang isa pang bagay na pwede nyo pong iwasan pagdating po sa ganyan ay ititreat nyo po yung lugar ng inyong mga alaga. Yung kanilang yard, yung kulungan nila, and bibigyan nyo siya ng tick and flea prevention monthly. Marami po yan. You just have to consult your vet para maibigay po yung tama at safe para po sa inyong alaga. Alright? Ngayon, this is the last part, yung general pet care tips po na I can share to you para naman sa bahay, alam niyo yung gagawin ninyo. Siyempre, para naman hindi mahirapan yung mga alaga nyo at kayo rin ay hindi mahawa. Okay, number one, siyempre, always consult your vet. Okay? Huwag po kayo mahiyang magtanong sa doktor dahil trabaho po namin yon. Okay? You can always visit me here in my site, Consult a Vet, and always ask me questions about your pets. I will gladly help for free. All right? Number two, meron na pong regular na mga groomer all around us sa ating neighborhood, and it doesn't hurt na kung kayo po ay ipag-groom nyo at least man lang twice a month. O kahit na once a month kung talagang kayo po ay nagtitipid, para naman at least hindi nyo pababayaan na mamaho at tumubo ang kung ano-ano sa balat ng inyong aso. Dahil gusto nyo naman syempre mabuhay siya ng medyo comfortable at happy dahil parte po siya ng pamilya. Okay, paliguan nyo po kahit kung kaya nyo at ayaw nyo gumastos. Paliguan nyo ng sarili ninyo once a week or twice a month. Alright? Number three, i-update nyo po yung kanyang bakuna at yung kanyang deworming. Napaka-importante po yan. Kalakip na po ito sa batas ng Anti-Rabies Act of 2007, yung responsible pet ownership. Para maging responsible pet ownership, dapat pong ibigay ang nararapat sa alaga. Hindi po sila pinapakain lang. Bukod sa ginugroom, kailangan nila ng bakuna. Dahil wala yon, magkakasakit sila. Kailangan silang purgahin. Kasi wala yon, sila po ay magkakabulate. Pag napabayaan, life-threatening din. Okay? Number 4. Okay? Hygiene and sanitation should be your lifestyle. Lifestyle na po natin yan ngayon. Dahil po sa COVID, disinfect, naglalagay ng foot bath, kami nga po sa clinic, nagfa-fog pa, at meron kaming disinfection machine para naman mawala si COVID, mamatay. Ginagawa din po natin ito sa ating mga alaga para naman hindi sila magkasakit tulad natin. Dahil alam natin, ngayong mga panahon na to, nagkaka-COVID din sila. So, iisa lang po yung hygiene and sanitation ng tao at pusa, gawin na po natin din sa ating mga alaga para hindi sila magkasakit at hindi rin sila magka-COVID. Alright? So, normal na po yan na ginagawa natin sa pang-araw-araw. Ito din po, number 5. Diba? Maghugas po kayo ng kamay pagkatapos niyong hawakan ng inyong alaga. Kasi, hindi natin alam, kung hindi nyo sila pinapaliguan, mapupunta sa inyo yung mga organismo na nanggagaling sa kanila. Hindi po natin yan nakikita. Kaya parang COVID prevention din, dahil nga naghuhugas na rin tayo ng kamay lagi, okay, gawin na natin din pagkatapos silang hawakan. Okay, number 6, linisin niyo naman po sa araw-araw ang kanilang kainan. Pero marami po akong nakikita kasi dito, mga pasyente ko at mga kliyente ko, naku, tamad na tamad maglinis ng pagkainan ng kanilang mga alaga. Huwag po tayong tamarin. Dahil 'pag tinamad kayo, maaaring kayo rin ay magkasakit. Kasi 'pag madumi po yung alaga ninyo, may makukuha siyang sakit, maipapasa rin niya sa inyo. So, it starts at home. Okay? Linisin lang po yung kainan, napakadali po niyan. Alright? Lalo na kung dog food lang naman ang ipapakain ninyo, hindi niyo nahuhugasan masyado. Kasi 'pag nagpapakain kayo ng table scraps o table food, yan mahirap din yan linisin dahil siyempre kailangan sabunan talaga yung kainan. Okay, number 7. Ito po na-mention ko na ng paulit-ulit. Napakadami po kasing damage na nagagawa ng garapata at saka pulgas eh. So tick and flea control on a routine basis, monthly po yan, merong ginagawa. Meron pong every 2 months, merong every 3 months. Kailangan nyo po kumonsulta kay doc. Konsulta lang po kayo sa akin at tuturuan ko kayo ng tamang paraan para makontrol ang mga yan. Number 8, ito po yung panghuli. Katulad natin, para malabanan natin ang sakit against COVID, katulad po niyan, ginawa ko in the past 2 years. Araw-araw po akong umiinom ng vitamins and supplements. Ganun din po yung aking mga alaga. Bibigyan natin sila ng vitamins and supplements para naman malabanan nila yung virus. Kung tayo, iniiwasan natin ng COVID, sila naman, iniiwasan rin nila yung COVID at yung mga sakit na nakakahawa na zoonotic disease na na-mention ko po in this presentation. Siyempre, gusto ko pong unahan nyo na yung sakit bago pa siya dumating para maiwasan natin ang pamumblema at gastos sa ating pong mga alaga. Nagpapasalamat po ako sa inyo lahat for listening to me here at PVET Live. I hope to see you more. I hope to answer all your questions later dito po sa second part ng ating show. I hope to see you later and send in your questions po here in PVET Live. Thank you very much. And again, I'm Dr. Jomar Castro sa Consulta Vet. If you need anything from me, here are my numbers and my clinics. I hope to see you later as I answer your questions. Thank you very much and God bless.
Thank you very much, Doc Jomar, for that very informative and insightful presentation. So I hope our PVET fur parents learned as much as I did. Dahil ang dami ko talaga natutunan that I know that I can apply to my fur babies. So before we move on to our Q&A segment, we will be having a 2-minute break to listen to a few words from PVET's partner brands. Again, I would like to remind all of you to stay up until the end. Malapit na to, di ba? Huwag na kayong mag-change ng channel. So stay until the end for the announcement of our contest winners. And of course, a very special announcement from our very own PVET Farm and Pet team. Don't forget to like, share, and comment your questions with the hashtags PVET Live and PVET Zoonotic. Stay tuned, and we'll be back in a bit. All right. Ayan. Okay. So we're back. Okay, we're back. We're finally back. Hello again. So sana buhay pa kayo, nanonood pa kayo. All right. Welcome again to our PVET for Parents. Welcome to our PVET Live Preventing Animal Transmitted Diseases. So sana na-retain pa natin yung mga natutunan natin, no? Before we proceed, I would like to thank and acknowledge the following. So first, I would like to thank PPD Patient. The PPD Patient app is a telehealth mobile platform that allows you to find and connect to a doctor, receive medical documents, chat with your doctor, and add your dependents, and buy your medicine. So once again, that's the PPD Patient app. Download it on Google Play or the App Store right now. So we would also like to thank and acknowledge none other than PVET. With more than 3,000 animal health products, the biggest online database of veterinary products and services in the Philippines. Visit their website at thefilipinovet.com. That's thefilipinovet.com, and download the PVET app on Google Play or the App Store. So if you haven't done that, do that right now. All right. Before we proceed, our PVET Farm and Pet team has a very exciting announcement for everyone. Makinig kayo na mabuti. Here I go. Tonight, everyone who registered will be receiving the new Pet Care Handbook, co-presented by Boehringer Ingelheim. This will be sent to your email. So to those who haven't registered yet at gustong makakuha ng copy ng ating new Pet Care Handbook, you can still do that. Just scan the QR code that you see on your screens right now so that you can benefit from this exciting freebie from our event. Not convinced yet? Well, here is a quick glimpse of the new Pet Care Handbook. Scan, register, and get your freebies. Let's watch this. O, diba? Ang ganda ng mga nilalaman ng ating new handbook. So, if you want a copy of this very useful and informative pet care handbook na magagamit natin for caring for our fur babies, don't forget to scan this QR code, register so that we can send this wonderful token to your emails. Ayan. So, actually, if you guys are watching, no, kung sumusubaybay kayo sa ating comment section, ang dami nang nagsisend in ng mga tanong nila. Which means, it's time for our Q&A portion. Wag na nating patagalin pa. We've actually collected 10 questions that Doc Jomar is ready to answer. Parang ayoko na tanongin Doc, ready ka na ba? I know you are.
Yes, so ready.
All right. So, thank you for your time once again, Doc. Diba? Ang ganda ng mga natutunan natin. And here are the questions of our avid viewers. So, let's begin. Ayan. So, we have our first question from Ishi Fuentes. What is the correct ratio of disinfectant? For example, water to bleach, ganon, that is animal-friendly but can prevent animal-transmitted diseases. So, as a fur parent myself, no, Doc, I know that it's important to keep our surroundings clean. Minsan talaga kailangan gumamit ng bleach or what para malinis ng maayos. Pero there's a tendency for the fur babies to step on them, tas ililik nila yung mga paws nila. So we know how dangerous that might be. What is the correct ratio if there is one?
Yes, Miss Harmony, thank you for that. Thank you for that question. Let me explain first to you, everybody, that bleach has been around for so long. I think more than 30 years it's been around. And it's one of the cheapest disinfectants available. And it's been used by us people for not just for dogs, for pets, but also for humans. Okay. Ginagamit po siya. Okay, let me explain to you what the active ingredient of bleach is. Okay, the active ingredient of bleach is sodium hypochlorite. So I don't want you to nosebleed. So that's a chemical that is not really safe for pets. But the main purpose of this disinfectant is to really kill uh, bacteria, viruses, and fungus. It's very, very effective. But yet, very dangerous for our pets. Why? Because it's uh, corrosive, number one. Number two, it irritates the mucous membranes. Ano yung mucous membranes? Yung eyes and mouth natin. It irritates the skin. Especially, it it's harmful for our pets. Okay. If you're going to ask me and to answer your question, there is a dilution that is required to kill viruses, fungus, and bacteria. Sad to say, there is no dilution that is safe to kill bacteria. It has to kill bacteria, but it can't, the dilution cannot be applicable with the pets. Okay? So whenever you use it, your pets should not be around, and it has a dilution time. It has an effectivity time of 10 minutes to 60 minutes on on the area that you're going to apply it. Para po maging effective siya, kailangan wala yung alaga ninyo. Dahil we cannot stop them from licking, for smelling, dahil irritating po ito sa mata, sa ilong. Yung ilong nila is may olfactory receptors which is around 100 times stronger than ours, and it may cause, tawag nila, nose blindness. So, ibig sabihin yung olfactory cells nila mamamatay, delikado, it damages the nose. Okay? So, my advice is, unfortunately, there is no safe dose or ratio of bleach to water that can kill bacteria and is safe for pets. So there is a certain computation that you should ask your vets para magamit ito sa inyong mga bahay, and make sure that your pets are not around. So I hope I answered that question.
Yeah, that's actually very insightful po, no, Doc, that there is a certain percentage na dapat nating masunod to kill the bacteria. But, Doc, I know that there are disinfectants that are pet-friendly. I think they call this enzymatic cleaners. Parang
Yes,
mga ganun.
there are
So, yeah.
modern chemicals and disinfectants that are out in the market already, and there's a lot already which they made because of this problem. It has been proven that it's safe for pets. So, not bleach anymore, since this is a very old chemical. There are very new ones, like one you mentioned, yung enzymatic disinfectants.
Got it, Doc. So, it's good no na sumabay tayo sa mga modern times. So, thank you for that po. Thank you for that information. Sana narinig ng mga fur parents natin so that we can get with the times para maalagaan natin ng mabuti yung mga fur babies natin, di ba? All right. So, here's our next question po. Ooh, this is a good one. Doc, is it a myth or fact that a scratch from a kitten is much more lethal among animals in terms of rabies?
Uh, Actually, it's a myth, okay,
Mm-hmm.
so to say, because uh, rabies can be transmitted just the same if you were bitten by a cat or a dog, you were scratched by a dog or a cat, or you have an open wound on your skin where their saliva is exposed to. So when that happens, it's all the same. It will enter your body, it will go to your muscles and nerves and infect you until it reaches the brain and cause a lot of worse things. So it's not just the scratch from a cat, although it's painful also, but it's all the same when in terms of rabies, they can still infect you in the worst possible ways, even if it's just a bite, a scratch, or an open wound. It's all the same.
All right. So technically, not one is more lethal than the other, no? Talagang rabies in itself is lethal. So talagang kailangang mag-ingat tayong lahat. All right. Thank you for that again. So next question, no, from Miss Meg Valiao Cortez. I have a 3-year-old dog and we're planning to have his annual checkup done. What kind of tests are necessary to be done since this will be my dog's first time? We haven't got the time to visit his vet for animal checkup except for his vaccines. Thank you, Doc.
Okay. On your next visit, it's been a while. No? It's pandemic. We understand you can't go out, but you have to bring your card, the vaccination card of your dog. Okay. the vet will check it out if it's updated or not, and they will update it. Now, for the certain tests that will be done, it's been a protocol for our clinic, consult the vet, to really do a physical exam. So we'll examine physically the hair, the feet, the eyes, the mouth, ears, and everything, and we'll let you know and evaluate what we saw in your pet. The next thing is we do a blood test. Actually, it's a routine for a clinic to really do a blood test twice a year in your pets. And that's every 6 months. A CBC and a blood chem would really help. It's just like in humans. I know you're familiar with this. Familiar na kayo pag nagba-blood test po ang mga tao. Meron din pong CBC and blood chem so that we can examine and check if there's a problem with a lot of the organs of the body through the blood test. And lastly, we do three. The third one is we do the dental checkup. Okay, we check up. We have this special light, the blue light, wherein we open the mouth of our patient, a dog or a cat, and we examine if the teeth are still healthy. Okay, so that's a complete evaluation of your dog, a comprehensive exam that we do. I'll repeat it again. Okay, number one is a physical exam. Number two is a comprehensive blood test. And number three, a dental checkup. Those are the three that we do twice a year with your dogs.
There you have it. Thank you so much for that comprehensive answer, Doc Jobber. Kulang na lang may HMO din yung mga pets, di ba? Parang sa atin din. Sana
Yeah.
sana meron. So here's our next question po. No, here's the scenario. A stray dog bit my friend's leg. Oh no, because he was teasing the dog, guys. Don't tease dogs. Nako. He was wearing thick blue jeans that day. He got wounded, but there aren't any holes on his jeans where he got bitten. My question is there still a chance the dog transmitted any germs or disease to my friend? Good question po, no, Doc?
Yeah. Yes. We understand, syempre, it needs really, we really need to have your feet or whatever part that was bitten to have it checked. I know you don't see any wound. You have to let the doctor check that out because it's very, very a sensitive matter. Rabies is a very sensitive disease and it's very, very fatal. And if you just not really observe it, okay, the part where it was bitten, kung saan siya kinagat, no, matatakot ka for a while kasi syempre a doctor should really examine it. You also, number one, you have to have the dog check, yung aso po. I-check nyo po kung meron ba siyang bakuna. Kasi hindi ka na matatakot kung meron siyang rabies vaccine, 'di ba? Kasi protected siya and kapag nangagat siya, it doesn't matter dahil nga protektado naman siya. He cannot transmit the rabies disease kapag may bakuna siya. Kapag chinek naman po yung sugat, okay, hindi lang naman po kasi rabies ang kayang i-transmit sa isang kagat or sugat. Meron din pong isa pa. We call it, it's a bacteria, it's called tetanus. Okay? So, it appears when you get bitten, this is a common thing, lagi po ito nangyayari, na kapag nakagat ka ng aso, kahit na scratch nga po scratch ng pusa, maliit na scratch, hindi ka nakagat, na scratch ka lang, kailangan mo pa rin ipatingin sa doktor at the doctor will determine if you need a shot or not. Kasi may hindi lang po, sabi ko kanina, hindi lang rabies, anti-rabies vaccine or post-exposure shots ng rabies ang ibibigay sa'yo, bibigyan ka din ng tetanus toxoid. So, it's a thing that you have to do, be ready and be prepared and don't just wait, 'di ba? Huwag ka maghintay lang, ipatingin mo sa doktor para sigurado ka. Yan.
Doon po tayo. I really love your message, Doc, na para sigurado, di ba? It doesn't matter kung nabutasin ka ba ng jeans or what. What matters is we keep our health and we keep our life so that we can also take care of our fur babies. So thank you very much for that po. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so we actually have a series of questions na medyo magkakapareho lang, Doc. So
Mm-hmm.
I will be reading each of them so that we can acknowledge them and you can give one general answer for all of them. So from Miss Carrie, Miss Janine, and Miss Hannah, despite having complete vaccines, why do dogs still get infected with parvo, distemper, and others? And how accurate ba kasi yung mga vaccines in preventing these diseases? Under what circumstance will they still be at risk in acquiring and transmitting the disease kahit meron na silang vaccine? It's a lot like our COVID, no? And is there such a thing as over-vaccination?
Yes, no. A lot of people, syempre, don't understand. Before the pandemic, a lot of us don't really understand, what vaccination is. When COVID came, we took a chance, na we had a chance to really understand it kasi we read it into the internet and all. This is the perfect example, not just for dogs, but also for people. Okay. When you get vaccinated with COVID, the COVID vaccine, you've heard of this before. It's all over the news. They still get infected. Diba? So, what does the COVID vaccine do? It prevents worst case scenarios when it prevents worst clinical signs in the patient. And this goes to show that the same principle goes to vaccines in dogs. There is no, let me tell everybody, no, wala pong 100% protection ang bakuna. It's just in the 90s, 95, 98, 99, depending on the brand of vaccine that's being used. Okay? There is still this very, very small chance na ma-infect pa rin yung alaga mo kapag pinabakunahan mo siya. I've seen it. I've been doing trials in my own clinic na meron pong may sakit na aso at katabi niya yung binakunahang aso. Meron pa rin pong chance na siya ay magkasakit. Pinaliliit lang po natin yung percentage of the risk dun sa mga bakunado. Pag wala siyang bakuna, katulad din po sa COVID, napakalaki ng risk niya, right? So, you will take this chance either to have them vaccinated and risk all of it, or have them vaccinated and lessen the risk. Or if they get infected because the percentage of protection is not 100%, walang guarantee for 100%, if they still get infected, they will have lesser clinical signs. So, yun po yung principle ng pagbabakuna. Okay? Naintindihan nyo na po yan dahil nagawa nyo na rin yan sa sarili ninyo when there was COVID that came here in the world. Diba? Now, with the last question, over-vaccination has two ways of doing over-vaccination. Number one is if you vaccinate your dogs too many times and they no longer need it. Kasi merong iba, mga OC, ayaw nila magkasakit yung aso nila, di ba? They keep on asking the vet, can you please protect them because my neighborhood has parvo and distemper. Yun yung una. Pangalawa is giving your dogs vaccines that they don't need. Okay? Yun yung tinatawag naming dalawa kasi, over-vaccination. So, there is a program that we vets follow. It's standard in almost all hospitals that we give the core vaccines. We give it at 4 times. And that's standard. You have to ask your vet, and you can see it also all over the net, that these are the standard vaccines for core vaccines, which is 5 in 1, 6 in 1, 7 in 1, or 8 in 1, whatever your vet has. It has to be 4. Okay, that's the standard. Okay? And in rabies, meron din pong standard depending on the vaccine that is prevalent and common in your area. Your vet will explain that to you. So, you will only over-vaccinate if you don't understand vaccines, how they work. And you will only understand it if you ask your vet. So you have to consult your vet regarding that because you're not the one who will do the vaccination. Okay? I hope you do that.
Right, right po. No? So, um, if it's too much to absorb for our audience, no, the only answer talaga is to ask your vet. Ang hirap naman kung hindi
Yes.
makakausapin yung vet niya. So, I guess it's important also, Doc, no, na to have a local vet na talagang malapit sa inyo because then they can explain also kung ano yung mga vaccines na kailangan din pala in the area. So, that's a new learning for me. Thank you so much for that po. And then we will proceed to our other questions. Ang daming
Mhm.
curious, di ba? Ang dami talaga nagmamahal sa mga fur babies nila. So, what is the most deadly disease that adult pets can get? What is the dengue version for pets? Can pets get dengue? Oh my.
Okay. If you're going to ask me about the deadliest, I guess for an adult dog, okay, I think it's canine distemper, but because adult dogs can get it if your dogs are not vaccinated. And even if they are vaccinated, sometimes they still get it. Sabi ko nga kanina, there's no 100% guarantee that we can protect them. We only lessen the chance through vaccines. Now, for me, canine distemper is a disease because it's airborne. It's like COVID for pets. It's so deadly that if they get it, it's airborne. When they get it, it's they get seizures, nervous seizures. They jerk like that, and they can't eat, they vomit, they become so weak. And when they become so weak because of that nervous problem, they can't eat, and it causes a high mortality rate in dogs whenever they acquire it. So that's the reason why vaccination is very, very important to really protect them from other dogs who have and may infect them with canine distemper. You have to watch out for that in an area or community in your barangay because it's so common for unvaccinated dogs. Now, if you're going to ask me about the dengue in dogs, yes, there is a dengue uh, version in dogs. We call it Ehrlichia canis in dog, ehrlichiosis in dog. You can Google it. It's capital Ehrlichios, ehrlichiosis. This Ehrlichia is like a dengue in humans, and they can be transmitted. If dengue is transmitted by mosquitoes in humans, Ehrlichia, the dengue version in dogs, is transmitted by the brown dog tick, the ticks, garapata po. Yan ha. Yan ang nagdadala po ng Ehrlichia sa ating mga aso. It's very, very fatal also. Bakit? Anong ginagawa niya? Because it lowers, like dengue in humans, it lowers the platelet. You call it in medical terms, thrombocytopenia. So pag bumaksak po ang platelet ng inyong alaga, and it goes so low, nagkakaroon po ng hemorrhage, dinudugo po yung aso ninyo until they pass away at until they die. So kapag sobrang baba na po, ang ginagawa po naming mga veterinaryo, we do blood transfusion, and one thing is for sure that I am very, very sure of, you can prevent it. How do you prevent it? By tick and flea control. Like I mentioned earlier in the early part of the presentation, get rid of the ticks, especially now in the summer where they carry Ehrlichia or the dengue version of the in dogs. So watch out for that.
Yeah, it's actually very scary to see those kinds of diseases in action. No? I think one of my dogs also got ehrlichia. Talaga nagdugo yung ilong niya. Akala ko dahil lang sa init, but then the vet diagnosed, no? So we also had to put her on the anti-tick or flea medication nga. And we were advised, correct me if I'm wrong, no, Doc, we were advised to parang treat the environment also to make sure that wala
Yes.
na talaga yung mga ticks and fleas doon. Kasi delikado pala talaga yun. So scary.
Yes. Oo.
Yeah, so for the fur parents, alam nyo na kung anong gagawin ha. You can also call Doc Jomar for clarification. May number siya kanina. Yeah. So for our other questions po, yan. Is it true that rabies can stay dormant in a human's body for 3 years or more?
Well, I have researched on something like this before because I was a part of the National Rabies group in the Bureau of Animal Industry before. We had this project, and The the infection of rabies has been very, very diverse. I mean, it can infect you in just a week. It can infect you in a month, and it can infect and be dormant for years. Okay, I think they have a study that there was a study not just here and also in abroad in other countries that it has come out after a few years of being bitten by a wild animal. I think that was 6 years. Okay, there's a lot of I think there's a few incidents that this has happened. That's the reason why rabies is very, very dreadful, and you just can't just ignore it whenever you're bitten. Pag kinagat po kayo, wag niyong hintayin kasi alam ko po siyempre mahal ang bakuna, mahal ang magpagamot, pero kasi po buhay ang kapalit nito, eh. At hindi natin mape-predict kung gaano katagal ito lalabas sa katawan mo. Baka mamaya nagtago lang 'yan. And yes, it's true, it may come out for 3 years, 5 years. No one can be sure. That's the reason why when you get bitten, 'pag kinagat po kayo, dumiretso po kayo sa doktor at merong mga gamot na puwedeng ibigay para hindi ka umabot sa advanced stage ng rabies at maise-save mo yung buhay mo. Kung naghintay ka, siyempre yun po ang hindi natin masasagot. Meron pong mga paraan, kaya bago pa lang makagat, magpunta na sa doktor at may i-a-advice po sila para dito.
Yan. So,
Thank
ang
you po.
mga vet, di ba? May mga bite clinic nga din po tayo, Doc. No? So, I think it pays to really pay visits to those bite clinics po so that they can also help
Yeah,
our
it's all around. It's all around. All the cities have animal bite centers already.
yes.
Pwede po kayong bumisita doon at hindi po mahal 'yon. Kasi
Mhm.
na-control na yung napamura na po nila yung mga bakunang pwedeng ibigay sa tao para ma-save ang buhay. 'Yun po ang gagawin.
Yan. So, thank you for that info, Doc. No, it's very important. It's literally life-saving information that we need to remember. So we have a few more questions, Doc. Thank you so much for keeping up with us. No, from CJ Meneses Castillo, the question is, what are your thoughts on 9-in-1 core vaccine? And I guess, Doc, while we're at it, yung iba na rin, gaano ba mas effective ba ang 9-in-1 than the 4-in-1, 5-in-1, etc.?
Yes. Let me explain to everybody what it is, okay? Ah, ang core vaccine po talaga, 5-in-1 lang, okay? Now, it has many brands. There are so many manufacturers and there is no manufacturer here in the Philippines. Mostly it's a multinational abroad. It's from another country. Okay. The core vaccines is the 5-in-1. What does it contain? It contains distemper, hepatitis, leptospirosis, parvovirus, and para-influenza. It has 5, okay? They add other vaccines which are not core anymore. Sometimes there is core, like for example, it becomes 6-in-1 because a manufacturer has added 5-in-1 plus rabies. So it becomes 6-in-1, okay? There is another manufacturer that has 5-in-1 but they added rabies and kennel cough. Okay, kennel cough is no longer a core vaccine. It's a non-core vaccine. So it's already 7-in-1. Meron din naman pong 8-in-1. Iba na naman po yung manufacturer nito. Yung 8-in-1 na to may 5-in-1 plus dagdag na extra strain na lepto. Kasi marami pong strain yung lepto na nag-evolve through the years. Nagiging 8-in-1 na siya. Okay? Meron din naman pong 9-in-1. O, yan na naman. Bago na naman yung manufacturer niyan. Okay? Meron siyang dinagdag. Hindi ko po alam kung ang dinagdag niya, rabies, kennel cough, or iba pang bakuna, or nagdagdag siya ng leptodon, or nagdagdag pa ng iba pang strain ng iba pang virus na hindi na non-core. Okay, let me explain to everybody na habang dumadami po yung bakuna na nilalagay dun sa one bottle, nagmamahal po siya. Okay? You have to ask your vet, Doc, this is the problem with the Filipinos, nahihiyang magtanong. Okay? Magtanong po tayo. Doc, bakit ba 9-in-1 na yan? Baka bukas 10-in-1 na yan, Doc. Baka naman
I-explain mo naman sa akin, Dok, kailangan ba talaga ito ng aso ko? Eh, baka naman 5-in-1 lang ang kailangan niya, 'di ba? I-e-explain ko po sa inyo. 'Pag nagpunta kayo sa clinic, isasabihin ko, ito pong 8-in-1, ito po ang laman. Kung hindi ko po 'yun binabanggit, itanong ninyo. Kasi 'pag hindi po kayo nagtanong, hindi walang sasaguting tanong, tama? You have to be aware what the doctor is giving your pet. Para sa akin, my dogs are like my children. It's important for me to know what they need during times like this. Yan.
I could not agree more, Doc. You could not have said it better, no? Talagang, kaya nga fur babies ang tawag natin dahil talagang halos anak na natin yan. At kung gastusan din natin, parang mga bata talaga. So, I agree, no? Thank you for the clarification. So, yeah, for our viewers, no, there is such a thing as a core vaccine and non-core vaccine. So, once again, don't forget to ask your vet about what your dog needs. All right. Okay, so other questions pa, ayan. Do half-dose canine vaccines work in juvenile dogs?
Okay, this is a very, very good question that you asked.
Agree,
Kasi
yeah.
I am just surprised to see that there is still a vet who does this. Okay, this is a very, very old traditional technique coming maybe from an older veterinarian. With respect to them, this is their practice, right? But let me tell you right now, the manufacturer has not advised to give a half dose vaccine to your pet because the protection, do you want your pet to be half protected? 'Di ba? I've asked this countless times in my trainings and seminars here and abroad. There is no such thing as half dose vaccine. It's always prepared on a single dose. So, if there is a vet that still does this, I doubt it because there are modern vaccines already. You have to ask them again because I am letting you know right now there is no manufacturer of vaccines that advise that their vaccine be given on a half dose. Yeah. Thank you for that question. I like that. I love that question. That's
It's
my
a good
favorite.
question, no? And once again, it brings us back to let's get with the times, no, to really protect our babies kasi dumadami na rin naman ng innovations that we can benefit from. All right.
Yeah.
Next question tayo. Ang dami talaga nagtatanong, ang daming curious, no? Ang daming talagang they really want to learn more for their fur babies. So ayan. Let's see the next lineup of questions. Baka meron pa, may gusto pang magtanong. Sabi nga ni Doc Jomar, wag mahihiyang magtanong. Ayan. So
Yeah.
from Rodrigo Ang Escobar, if my pet or animal died because of a disease, this hurts my soul. Ayan. How can I best dispose of their remains safely?
Okay. In the US, I've been in the US for quite a while, and in the city of LA, they no longer bury the remains of an animal. Okay, that's their guideline already all over Los Angeles because of the fact that if the disease of your dog is zoonotic and you don't know how to bury it in a proper way, a lot of the animals might dig it up, including your new dog, if you put it and bury it in your backyard. Okay? Sa likod po ng bahay nyo, kadalasan nangyari to. Kailangan pag binaon nyo po yung inyong alaga sa inyong bakuran, dapat 6 feet under. At nakabalot siya sa tamang balot, naka-plastic or what, protected kasi in the future, okay, pag ang kinamatay po, example lang, zoonotic disease din po ito, anthrax. Pag nahukay yan, okay, nagpagawa kayo ng bagong bahay, hinukay yan, okay, kakalat po yung sakit. That is the reason why in Los Angeles, in the US, they have changed the rules not to bury dogs. So I suggest today, in modern times, sumabay na po tayo doon, okay? Meron na pong murang cremation. Ano po ang ginagawa? Sinusunog po ang remains para mapatay lahat ng mikrobyo, bakterya at fungus. Kaya po ngayon, dito po sa atin, 'di ba, ang COVID, hindi na po nililibing, 'di ba? Kine-cremate din. That is the principle na sana masunod natin sa ating mga alaga para kung ang ikamamatay ng aso mo, sana naman hindi, namatay siya ng parvo, okay, titira ang parvo sa iyong bahay kapag hindi ka nag-disinfect ng taon, maraming taon. Kaya tuwing mag-aalaga ka ng hayop, magkakaparbo sa iyong bakuran. So, sinasuggest ko, sunugin na lang po. I-cremate at 100% mawawala. Pag nag-disinfect ka sa iyong bahay, give it 6 months. Wala na po ang virus. Yan ang aking suggestion.
You heard it from the expert himself. So as sad as it is to talk about these things, very necessary po, no, Doc? Kasi pinoproteksyonan din natin, hindi lang tayo ng mga fur parents, but also our future fur babies. Kasi I don't know about you, pero hindi talaga, iba talaga ang life kapag walang mga fur babies. So let's do our part to really protect them. So thank you for everyone who has sent in their questions. Meron pa bang hahabol? Ayan, meron pa. From Jane Gums, how is hookworm transmitted into a human? Kasi nga na-discuss natin po yun kanina, Doc. So how is it exactly transmitted to humans?
Yan, okay. When your dog has hookworms, okay, it has a certain species of worm, ancylostoma ang tawag doon, hookworm yon, okay. When he poops, sometimes he poops when he has worms, he would have diarrhea, okay. If you do not clean it properly with proper disinfectants, okay, and you accidentally step with your bare feet, okay? With your bare feet, merong natira, hindi mo nalinis. Okay? Nandun siya sa sahig, yung hookworm. Papasok siya sa paa mo. Kung 100%, you can assure me walang sugat yung paa mo. Paa mong maganda, di ba? Sorry. Okay. Na papasok siya sa sugat para pong rabies ito, no? Yung hookworm papasok po sa sugat, pupunta siya sa muscle, pupunta siya sa bloodstream, may hookworm ka na ngayon. Okay? That is why it's a zoonotic disease. Now, hindi lang po sa bahay nyo, sa bakuran ninyo, pag marami kayong kennel, hindi ka nakapag-disinfect, hindi mo pinupurga, hindi ka nagde-deworm sa iyong mga alaga, very, very rampant ito. Dun sa mga kennel mo, kennel caretakers, okay? Sila naman magkakaroon, hindi nila napapansin. Dahil hindi mo naman makikita. Akala mo wala. Sasabihin mo, nagdadayari lang yung aso ko. Wala yan. Yan, di ba? So, that's the time nakakalat at nagkakalat yan because you cannot see by your naked eye. Yan ang problema. So, I hope I enlightened you with that question. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Doc. And does it also apply for cats? Kasi I'm sure hindi lang naman ang dogs ang na-affect or dog
yes,
owners
it's
rather.
same. There are certain worms and bacteria that are very, very marami, actually mas marami sa cats because there are certain worms and bacteria that infect also pregnant women pagdating sa cats. So you have to be careful with that. The good thing about it is cats have a litter box. If you have a litter box, may litter box po sila. Hindi katulad ng aso, strike anywhere minsan if you don't really toilet train them, di ba? Strike anywhere yan, di ba, dude? So you have to be careful with that in cats and in dogs. Yun. I hope I answered.
That's very clear, Doc Jomar. Thank you for reminding us also to clean up after our pets properly.
Yeah.
And more questions from Miss Maria Christine Reyes Romabon. Ayan, habang nag-cameo ang aking cats. Question, yung aso ko po ay hindi matigil sa pagkamot ng ears niya. Nagkakanda sugat-sugat na and parang may butlig-butlig at ang loob ng ears niya ay parang madumi. Ano po kaya ang cause and how do you prevent and cure it na rin, no, Doc? Thank you po.
Yes. This is a common problem. Problema po ito sa lahat ng mga aso at pusa rin. Okay. Dahil hindi naman po natin sila nililinisan ng tenga katulad nating mga tao. Okay. Ang problema po nila, yung nakatayo pang tenga, 'Pag umuulan o kaya pinapaliguan niyo, papasok yung tubig sa loob ng tenga, okey. Eh, hindi niyo naman nililinis ng cotton buds 'yan, 'di ba? Pinababayaan niyo lang, tinutuyo niyo lang sila ng tuwalya, tapos nagse-shake lang sila ng ulo, okey? Hindi naiiwan po yung tubig sa loob ng tenga. 'Pag naipon po yung tubig sa loob ng tenga, siyempre very, very conducive sa bacteria, okey? Isa na po diyan ang tinatawag nating ear mites, okey? Kasi dun gusto tumira ng ear mites sa loob ng tenga, yung basa. Dahil nga na tumutubo na yung ear mites sa magkabilang tenga, makati. Kamot na siya ngayon ng kamot. Walang humpay na shaking of the head and scratching. Eh, wala naman siyang daliri to really, 'di ba, dig deep the scratching inside the ears. He will only scratch it outside, yung sa labas, 'di ba, yung flap, ear flap. Ang nagiging problema, nada-damage yung tenga. Nagkakaroon ng oral hematoma, okay. Pero ang iisa lang ang source nun, yung dumi niya sa loob, okay. So whenever you, ito advice ko, prevention always is always better than a cure, no, cure. So my advice is whenever you give them a bath, linisan niyo po yung tenga niya para maalis yung tubig at maalis yung basa, hindi tumubo yung bacteria o yung ear mites, hindi siya kakamot ng paulit-ulit. Pero kung meron na siyang gano'n, you have to bring it to a vet. Dahil lilinisin po namin 'yan ng tama, kasi malalim po yung tenga. Natatakot kayo baka tamaan yung eardrum. Tuturuan ko kayo in one of my videos, I'll show it to you, kung papaano linisin ng tama. Ituturo ko po sa inyo yung anatomy ng tenga para maintindihan ninyo na kaya palang linisin sa bahay ng tama, para hindi na kayo gagastos pumunta pa sa vet, okay. Pero kung may ear mites na, pumunta na po kayo sa vet, lilinisin ng tama at ibibigay yung tamang gamot para hindi masira yung tenga ng iyong alaga. I hope I answered that.
There you go. There you go. From the vet himself, ladies and gentlemen, no? Bring your dogs or cats to the vet kapag may ear mites na sila. Ayan. Dapat meron din mag-invent ng cotton buds for pets. Ayan, next, from Miss Katrina Ramos Pastrana, rather, can rodents transmit rabies also?
Yes, rodents are also mammals, no? Mammals din 'yan. So, all mammals really be infected with rabies. So, sometimes bats catch rats. Pagka kinagat niya yung rat, nakatakas yung rat, o magkaka-rabies na siya. Yung ano naman, yung rat naman, pupunta siya sa farm, kakagatin naman niya yung cat o yung dog. Magkaka-rabies yung dog, yung cat, yung cow, yung goat. So it's just a cycle that happens. We don't notice it kasi we have not seen it. Pero yung rats, there's so many diseases, and we have to be careful with that. All mammals have rabies. So
That's why it's
can
important.
be infected with rabies. So let's be careful with it.
Yeah, so let's all also keep our surroundings clean, so that we can, keep those rodents away from our fur babies and from ourselves. No? Mahirap na magka-rabies, guys. Hirap na talaga. All right, so I think we're down to our last few questions from Ray Espinosa Zonio. Hi, Doc. Baka po pwede niyong i-explain if inborn or not ang rabies sa mga dogs and cats, and kung paano po ba talaga nila nakukuha? I think there was already a correlation to those last two questions. So if you want to elaborate just a little bit more, Doc, you may do so.
Yes, okay. They are not inborn in all animals. I mentioned this earlier. They get it from other animals infected with rabies. So mostly in other countries, they get it from bats, from wild animals, raccoons, and foxes. Dito po kasi laganap yan dun sa mga stray dogs. Okay? Pasa-pasa po ito noon pa tong sakit, napakatagal na nitong sakit na to. Hindi po ito basta-basta lang lalabas sa tuta ninyo kapag bagong panganak siya. Kung na-infect po yung nanay niya, pwede siyang magkaroon, yung mga tuta. Pero hindi siya ipapanganak na meron nun. That is a myth, okay? Nakukuha po ito sa ibang aso na gala na hindi inintindi. Pinabayaan na natin, katulad natin, nag-alaga tayo ng aso, cute siya nung tuta, nung lumaki na, galisin na. O, hindi na, napababayaan na natin, gagala-gala sa kalye. makikipag-away sa iba, palaboy-laboy yan, makikipag-away sa ibang aso at ibang daga, pusa na merong infected na rabies na ipapasa po 'to. Matagal na po itong nangyayari, hindi lang po ito umuusbong sa kung saan, galing rin po ito sa ibang hayop na infected. So, hindi pa po natin nasisiro ito, dito sa ating bansa, kung kaya't napakadami na pong meron na dapat nating puksain. Ngayon pa lang, bakuna lang ang sagot. Yan po.
Thank you, Doc. Kaya guys, alagaan naman natin yung mga pets natin para hindi rin sila makapag-spread ng rabies, di ba? Di ba, Doc, pag galisin, dapat dalhin din sa vet para alis.
Yes, oo
O, di
naman.
ba?
Nagagamot po yan.
Nandun yung mga babies nyo. Wawa naman. Pero yun, ako lang naman yun. And I'm sure a lot of our fur parents who are watching now can also relate that there's a lot of care that really goes into essentially caring for our fur babies. So I think, last question na ba yun? Or may gusto pang humabol? Wala na ba? Going once, going twice. Char. Well, guys, well, we appreciate everyone who has sent in their questions, no? We actually have learned so much from Doc Jomar and from the questions that you've all posed. We gathered a lot of information at sana magagamit natin to as we take care of our fur babies. So thank you once again, Doc Jomar, for your wonderful presentation and for taking the time to answer the questions of our audience. Nako, tuwang-tuwa kami dahil ang dami nating natutunan. And of course, congratulations to all of those who submitted the winning questions na binasa natin tonight. So once again, let's all give a hand to Doc Jomar. He has been such a wonderful guest speaker. So thank you so much, Doc.
Thank you po. God bless.
Great. Yeah, galing, di ba? Ang saya. Dami natin natutunan. And before I forget, no, and before you have probably forgotten, sana hindi, ito na, our final segment for PVET Fur Parents. Dun, 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 dun. Are you ready to know who the winners are for our fake or fact contest? O, di ba? Bibitinin ko muna kayo ng onte. Before we announce them, here's a quick recap of our contest mechanics for the fake or fact. Let's watch this. O yan, kitang-kita nyo how you will get to win gift packs from PVET. So without further ado, alam ko excited na kayo malaman kung sino yung mga winners. Let's see who won our fake or fact contest. So we will remind you now, we posed 3 questions. Let me read them out to you. So first, fake or fact, rabies manifests in humans immediately. Ngayon, kung nakinig kayo dun sa talk ni Doc at kung may pa-quiz ngayon, sana alam niyo yung sagot, no? Well, Jenilyn Unidad and Christian Cagadas got the answer correctly. Rabies manifests in humans immediately. That's a fake. So congratulations to our 2 winners for the first question. All right, next up, fake or fact, humans may get leptospirosis from their infected pets' bodily fluids. That is in fact a fact. So nandun din yung sa talk ni Doc kanina, and Ms. Grace Obo and Dizet Navaluna got that correctly. Yan, last question, fake or fact, fleas only live on animals. That's a fake. And Diuna Belia and Justin Joy Mercado got that correctly. That's a fake. No, they don't just live on your animals. Baka mapunta pa nga sa inyo. So let's all stay safe. So congratulations once again to our winners for the fake or fact contest. Jenilyn Unidad, Christian Cagadas, Grace Obo, Lisette Navaluna, Deuna Belia, and Justin Joy Mercado. So we'd like to remind everyone, especially our winners, these winners were picked through an e-draw. Kasi nga, ang dami sa inyong nag-send ng mga tamang sagot. Because you all know your pet care and pet health. Kasi nga, mahal na mahal yung mga fur babies nyo. So, once again, these winners were picked through an e-draw para fair. And to all those who won, please keep your lines open because PVET Farm and Pet will directly message you to get your delivery details. So once again, Keep your lines open. Huwag nyo lang silang isisin. Send them your delivery details so that they can send you your prizes. Again, to all those who participated, thank you so much. And to our winners, congratulations! And for parents, we are actually coming to a close for our event. Sad as it is, ang dami na nating natutunan. So I hope that we can all approve, no? I hope that we can all apply, rather, this to our fur babies. And I hope you and your companions enjoyed and learned a lot from Doc Jomar this evening. We would like to thank our sponsor, Brit, a grain-free veterinary diet for better and healthy life. Once again, that's Brit. Yan. On behalf of PVET Farm and Pet, thank you so much, everyone, for attending. This event will be available online, which you may share with those who missed the event. Lalo na kung alam nyo na makikinabang sila dun sa talk na na-witness natin tonight. So if you haven't followed PVET's official social media pages yet, well, now is the perfect time to do so. Follow at Farm and Pet PH on both Instagram and Facebook so that you can get updates on their latest and upcoming activities gaya na lang ng ganitong talk on preventing animal-transmitted diseases. Good night to all of you, PVET for parents and companions. Thank you once again for joining us. This is Harmony Adiao, and we will see you all next time. Bye! Ingat kayo mga fur babies, fur parents.